Hello and welcome to That's Absurd. Please elaborate. I am one of the two people that you will be hearing throughout this audio experience.
Ooh. We've settled on experience.
I like it. I like it. Yeah,
Ooh.
thanks, Yasmin's episode from a few weeks ago. I am Trace Dominguez. I'm a science communicator. I talk about sciencey stuff and help people understand sciencey stuff better, which in our current times is very important. And I'm here with my friend and colleague and absurd friend as well. Wait, no, absurd, whatever. Julian Huguet.
Hello. My accolades are that some people say I seem okay as well.
That is true.
According to reviews.
We got a review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you to Blue Hair C. We do read all our reviews because we are that vain. And it's 5 stars, which is excellent. The headline is, love it. And the words of the review are, I just discovered this podcast and I love it, which is great, right out of the bat. I've seen a bunch of things Trace has done. Thank you. And when I heard him mention this on SciShow Tangents, I had to check it out. Julian seems great as well.
I'm just catching strays in all our reviews.
So anyway, if you leave us a review and it is as good as that one, you just know you have made my week. That is just the best.
Maybe people found it because of said reviews. We should tell them what this show is. This is a science comedy show where we take absurd, ridiculous questions from listeners or each other, and then we try and actually find some real answer to it, no matter how outlandish or weird or bizarre the question may be.
All true. That's pretty accurate. I think he's better than great as well. I think he just seems great. All on his own. Yeah, every week we answer a question from you, the listener. If you have questions, you can go down into the show notes and submit one to us. You can call us on the phone, 302-TAPE-SHOW, TAPESHO. You can send us an email. You can do any number of things to get us a question, and we will spend our brain cell power thinking it through and trying to answer it. So this week we have 2 questions for you. Julian's going to go first. Julian, what is your question?
Oh, my question comes from Liam this week, and I think it depleted all my brain cells because Liam asked, are there more wheels or doors in the world?
That's one of those that once I'd never thought about it. I'm like, well, clearly there's more wheels because of cars. But then I was like, but houses have so many doors.
Oh, Liam.
And buildings have... Oh, no.
Liam goes through all the stages as well. Liam includes. This is a question I've seen online time and time again. I've debated this with friends over and over, but we can never seem to settle on an answer. Most cars have 5 wheels, 1 spare. But then most cars also have 4 doors, 5 including the trunk. Some trucks only have 2 doors, but bikes have 2 wheels with no doors. What about the steering wheel? Yeah, what about it, Liam?
Does that count as a wheel? Is that...
It has wheel in the name.
It is a wheel, but... Oh, man, then we're in real trouble.
Most
wheel trouble. This is a comedy podcast.
There it is. There's the one joke. Most buildings have doors, but also might have wheels you don't consider. The wheels that support the rack in your dishwasher, your office chair, toy vehicles. Is a bearing a wheel? Is a gear a wheel? What even is a wheel? I have to know.
Is a
Thank
door
you. I love
handle?
the show.
Is a door handle a wheel?
Yeah. Let's get into all that. Let's get into it.
Oh, no.
So as Liam mentioned, this is a question that's gone around the internet and apparently has been the source of some heated debate. And somehow I missed it. Did you ever see this one going around?
I've never heard of this. And now that I've heard of it, I need to have 1 to 3 alcoholic beverages with friends and completely destroy each other trying to argue it out.
Yeah, get to the bottom of this, definitely. Yeah, this is one of those questions the internet just got in a tizzy over. So was, apparently, just to backtrack several episodes, you remember my trillion lions versus the sun question from Daniel? Yeah, that one too apparently has gone around the internet. I didn't know this until after we recorded, and then I sat down one day to have the YouTube algorithm serve me up some educational content, and what does it suggest but a video of what would win, a trillion lions or the sun?
I mean, we should post our own video discussing it. Hint, hint, foreshadowing.
Anyway.
Pay attention to our social feeds, please, soon.
So, in that video, though, the trillion lines versus the sun, it doesn't go the same direction I went, but I didn't have as much luck with this one. But let's back up first and talk about how this all came about. So, this all started on March 4th, 2022, when Twitter user Ryan Nixon put up a poll asking this question. Now, Ryan, as of today, has a little over 1,000 Twitter followers. He got 223,000 votes on this poll.
What? Wait,
Can you imagine being Ryan?
Is this the dress? This is the dress,
the notifications. It feels like one of those things the internet just grabs and runs with. Like those rare moments that are so fleeting nowadays when you're like, this is what the internet, this is what's good about it. This is a nice thing.
When it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he got 223,000 votes. What do you think won?
Wheels
with 53.6% of the vote. Wheels was voted the winner. But it doesn't matter. Just because people vote on something doesn't mean it's the correct decision.
True. Especially and famously on that website.
Yes. So many people have weighed in. The Greens, John and Hank, each made videos about it. John Green said, there is no Team Wheels and Team Doors. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the situation we find ourselves in. There is a Team Wheels and there is a team of people who are mistaken.
That is very John Green. Yes.
Just quoting it, I'm like, wow, he has a particular way of speaking.
He really
Hank
does.
Pretty much goes through the same thought process. He goes through his house and looks at all the doors, but then he looks at the toy cars and ultimately concludes Wheels. But I wanted to see if I could come at this afresh, not trying to be influenced by, my internet heroes or anything.
No influencers. Influencers in this.
No undue influence. And see if I could come to a conclusion on my own as well. And the thing is, Trace, do you think there's some database somewhere that has a running total of all the doors and all the wheels that currently exist?
No.
Of course
way.
not.
Yeah, there'd be no way nobody would do that.
No. There's just no hard and fast piece of data that you can point to and definitively go, well, this is...
Right.
That's the answer. That's it.
Right.
What it reminds me of really is this is a Fermi problem.
Like the Fermi paradox?
Same guy.
But what are you talking about?
Same name. So Enrico Fermi. He was an Italian-born and naturalized American physicist. He taught at the University of Chicago. He made the first artificial nuclear reactor, the Chicago Pile 1. An important guy in the history of physics and science. And he was also famous for being very good at making estimates with very little data.
He's just a low-context hero.
Mm-hmm. That's Enrico Fermi. He apparently, during the Trinity test, he could estimate how strong the bomb was by dropping like pieces of paper as it went off and seeing how far they traveled and then going, okay, well, based on this, that, and the other thing, it should probably be about 10 megatons, and it was 23. So, he was halfway there, which from dropping pieces of paper is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
So he would lecture and he would teach how he would get these estimates. So, and it was his way of teaching like dimensional analysis, right? Being able to take this big problem and find a way, even with very little information, find something that's reasonable in the ballpark. A great example is how many piano tuners are there in the city of Chicago? Right?
1,207.
It's not bad.
In the year 1950.
This was in the late 40s, 50s.
I would say today, 127, like the order of magnitude fewer. Well, that's my guess, out of nowhere.
Honestly, it's not bad. Although Fermi has a much more step-by-step approach, rather than just like, my gut tells me,
You're telling me that he has a rigorous and thought-out estimation procedure.
Yes,
he doesn't just start gravitating toward numbers.
One of the pioneers of nuclear physics has a more methodical approach than two podcast hosts. Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. That story
seems
checks
fair.
out.
Fermi also seems great. Okay, So, when he gave this problem to his classes, he would start with how many people are in Chicago according to some official figure, right? So, according to the Almanac, there's 3 million people in Chicago at the time. Now, from there, we're going to assume that the average family contains 4 members. So, the number of families in Chicago must be about 700,000. How many do you think own a piano? It'd be reasonable to say 1 in 5 owns a piano. So, there'll be about 150,000 pianos in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, let's assume that the average piano tuner can work on 4 pianos a day for a 5-day work week. He rests on weekends. He has a 2-week vacation during the summer. So in 1 year, he would service 1,000 pianos.
Yeah.
Well, assuming that every piano annually needs a tune-up and that there are enough piano tuners to service all 150,000 pianos each year, that means that we have probably about 150 piano tuners in Chicago. Now, we're not counting pianos that are in public places, right? Or bars or something. And we're not counting all the pianos that are going untuned that people neglect. So, of course, it's not going to be perfect, but we can reasonably assume, that we're within an order of magnitude, right? You're not going to have 15 piano tuners. You're not going to have 1,500 piano tuners.
Okay,
so
I feel attacked.
Trace. I wasn't going to say it, but I was like, you're technically within an order of magnitude of what he would have said. But
So Fermi would have looked at me and said, sure, but no.
No. Well, you're trying, but no. Okay. So that's what I'm going to try and figure out. But before we can even start and actually, take this approach of trying to whittle down to a number, what counts as a door?
Yeah. Is a window a door if it opens in a certain way?
Oh, good question.
Is what about little door? Like my house has little doors that open into the wall so you can access a lever to turn water on and off. Does that count as a door? And if so, what about the milk doors from old Craftsman's and the refrigerator? It has 2 doors on it, but sometimes has 2 doors in a drawer. And sometimes, it's is a cupboard a door? I guess it's called a cupboard door. So I guess it is. Is a sliding door a door? It slides. It doesn't even open. And if it's a door, then maybe some of the windows that slide up and down are also doors. We just don't call them. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, Darwin.
I think this is the problem that the internet has run into.
Yeah.
Because apparently when people get into this fight and somebody comes to a conclusion, somebody else pops up and goes, "What about this type of door?
Yeah.
You absolute moron." You know how the internet's very chill about things.
That's very internet.
Yeah, it is.
What about Lego doors and toy doors? The little doors. Okay.
Hold that thought. We'll come back to it.
I'm not good at that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold on to it.
But yeah, this is an issue, right? I agree with you that there are many things that at first obviously the things you walk through are a door, right?
Yeah.
On a hinge.
Yeah.
That's a slam dunk no-brainer. But then the doors that you don't walk through, hopefully, like your refrigerator door, right? Although there is a bar that I love in LA where you enter through a refrigerator door. But
into that bar with you. It's great. It's a great bar.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Cabinet doors. Like you said, certain windows, right? If they open on a hinge. Sliding doors. There's a lot. The door that covers my electrical panel. The door on the front of my little printer that flips down. Does that count? I don't know.
Closet doors. Is a closet door 1 door or is it 2 doors or is it 6 doors?
Great question. Or if we're talking about cars like Liam talks about, you've got, on a sedan, the 4 doors to get into the thing, but then does the trunk count?
Is it a door? I don't know.
I've seen some cars, like a hatchback, described as a 5-door.
Yeah.
But if it's a trunk, does it count?
The hood is sort of like a door. Do you have to pass through it for it to be a door? What is a door?
What is a door?
What is it?
What is a door?
Take me out of this.
It's pretty nebulous.
Hell.
I don't have a good definition for you. I am sorry to say.
The worst thing you could have said at this moment.
I think a door is just whatever you want it to be.
Wow.
So that is a problem. Now a wheel.
Now that is a problem. Wow, you are really downplaying this problem. That is a problem. Well, moving on.
I'm just going to pick a number later, okay? And I think we're all going to be satisfied with it.
You know, I've heard 1,207 is a pretty good number.
That's a good number of doors. Why not? Wheels, though, a bit more hard and fast, right? Like a wheel is one of the classic 6 simple machines, right? Yeah. You've got your levers, your pulleys, your inclined planes, and then wedges and screws, I feel like, should still fall under the umbrella of inclined plane.
Yeah, they're just like an inclined plane in a different configuration. I agree.
Yeah, and then you've got your wheel and axle.
Yes.
But the important thing with all of these simple machines, is they're taking force and they're changing the magnitude or direction of the force, right? That's what makes them a machine. So with that definition, I would definitely say your steering wheel counts as a wheel. You are putting force into turning it, and it's changing the magnitude of it to to actually turn your car's wheels. I think that totally counts.
Makes sense.
Gears. Absolutely, if they are gear wheels, right? Because there are different types of gears. There's like worm gears. But when we think gears, we think of the circular ones with teeth, right?
Yeah, Cogswell cogs kind of,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about that, then your car has a lot more than just 4 or 5 wheels, right?
Yeah, true.
Including the spare. You've got the steering wheel, then you've got all the different gears. If it's just a 4-gear car, right, 3 in forward, 1 in reverse, then that's really 5 gears, because there's the one coming out of the engine that connects to it.
What is this, 1961? Like, who has a 3-gear
3
forward?
on a tree.
What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, a lot of them have more than that, 6. Yeah. Or if it's an automatic transmission, it probably uses a planetary gear setup, where each gear actually is like one central sun gear, and then 3 little planetary gears rotating around that inside a bigger gear ring that the planetary gears mesh with.
Yeah.
So each gear is really like 4 gears.
Yeah. Oof. Wow.
Actually, each gear is really, by that count, 5 gears. I'm good at math. I'm within an order of magnitude of gears.
I mean, let me put it this way. You seem great as well.
This is the most backhanded compliment. Okay. All right. Still, I'm going to try and Furby this.
Yeah.
So, let's say how many people there are in the world. Let's start there for doors.
Yeah.
There's about 8 billion people in the world.
That's a lot.
Now, I'm going to estimate that about 80% of them live in a building. That fair, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's I think conservatively that's a good estimate.
I think so too. And sometimes I double checked these, and it turns out that that's pretty bang on, because by some estimates there are 1.6 billion people that are underhoused. They're living in maybe some sort of temporary building like a slum, or they're couch surfing or something like that. So that would mean that's about 20% that are underhoused, which, sorry to be a bummer. But then the other 80%, like my estimate, they're in a building. Cool, great.
Yeah.
I assume that they have a room to sleep in, probably have a bathroom with a door. They probably have cabinets and refrigerators and all these things we talked about. So I'm going to estimate that per person living in a household, there are 25 doors.
That seems like a lot, but when you mention it like, okay, there's a door to their room, there's a vanity in their cabinet if they live in a Western style house, but maybe there's lots of doors, in Japanese architecture, there's lots of those sliding doors, and they extend all the way around some rooms in some houses. So it's like, there are variety, like in traditional architecture, obviously not necessarily modern architecture, but either way, I think it seems safe to say that there are a lot more doors than you think around you at any given moment.
Now, I also tried to do some double checking on this one. I went around my apartment this morning like a crazy person and just was counting all the doors. And I counted that we have, if you're including refrigerators and cabinets and pretty much everything that I was willing to count reasonably as a door, 58 doors. But I share this apartment with my wife, so that's kind of
close.
Ballpark right. Yeah,
close.
We're door rich, not to brag or anything. But there's a lot of people with fewer doors.
What was the most surprising thing that you're like, oh, that's a door, when you were counting?
I mentioned it, the printer behind me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's in shot of our little conversation, but like...
Okay, he's walking over. He's open. Oh, you open the front where you like access the ink or whatever. Yeah, that's a door. That's 100% a door. You have to reach into it. You have to pull things out of it when you need to do that.
Yeah, I think that counts.
Yeah, that's a door for sure.
So I don't want any pro door people coming at me that I wasn't thorough enough on my door count, you know? Want to put that out there. So, yeah, 25 doors per person per household. But of course, people don't only spend time in their household. They get on vehicles that have doors. They go other places like work or they stay in hotels. You know, they travel. Yeah. They go places for entertainment.
Yeah. Businesses everywhere. Oh my gosh, they everywhere.
Go to stadiums that have bathroom stalls with a lot of doors. They go to laundromats that are
every bathroom doors in the world has doors in it. Oh man, right. Yeah, and in government buildings and buildings that people don't typically enter. You know, out. You know, that house equipment that run cell phone towers or plumbing systems or infrastructure, highways. You know, all of those have buildings alongside of the highways all over the world that all have doors. Mm-hmm. Does a door and a fence count? Because then that's even more doors.
That seems like a gate.
Yeah, you're right.
Is a door different from a gate? Oh no!
I'm sorry, I brought it up.
Oh no! So. I'm going to ignore it, though. I'm going to just skate right by it.
Sure. You already did the math.
I think it's reasonable. Sure. I listen, I already wrote it down. It can't be changed.
Yeah. Makes sense.
There it is. It's already written down. It's done. It's finished. All right. So keep in mind, though, that a lot of these places are shared, right? It's not like everywhere I go, there's a place that's just for me to poop. I mean, there is when I'm in it, but it's not like it was made just for me, right?
There are fewer toilets in public than there are people in public.
Like, I was kind of surprised. I was thinking about hotel rooms, you know, to see if I could find some sort of estimate on how many hotel rooms there are. What do you think it is? What do you think the figure is?
Well, to use your, but quicker, Fermi estimation, there's, 300 million people.
You're going to Fermi this?
Yeah, I would say there's something like 1.5 to 3 million hotel rooms in the United States.
Oh, I'm talking globally. How many do you think globally?
Globally? Similar idea. I would say something like 80 million hotel rooms.
80 million. I found a figure that says there are an estimated 17.5 million guest rooms worldwide.
Got it. So I was thinking 8 or 80. I was just going to, because what I did for hotel room is I minus 2 orders of magnitude. I'm like, okay, that just seems right. Like a hotel room for every 100 people. But
to me, that figure was lower than I expected, though. 17.5 million.
Yeah, that seems lower.
So I think when we keep in mind that like a lot of these places that have a lot of extra doors, like public bathrooms and stuff, are shared by a lot of people, I just think that it's not as voluminous of a figure as we might think.
Interesting.
I'm just going to, but including all those other little types of doors that you mentioned, infrastructure, hotel rooms, bathroom stalls, blah, blah, blah. I think it is reasonable to double that figure from 25 doors per house person to twice that.
Yeah. Again, I think you're being conservative in a good way. Like you're not overblowing the number of doors. I would say we're definitely going to be underestimating, but hopefully by not a lot.
Yeah. So I think when you put that together, you get about 320 billion doors on Earth.
That's a lot of doors.
Now, these are also, I should mention, human-made doors. You know, there is like a spider, the trapdoor spider. Does that count?
Spider. Yeah.
I'm not going to count it.
I don't know. Aren't there undersea animals that also like dig a hole and hide in it and put something over themselves? Is that not a door? Is that not a door, I say?
I ask you. I ask you. No, we're going with just human-made stuff, just to simplify.
Got it. Fair, yeah.
All right. Now, let's take a look at wheels, since we have a door figure. I think it might be helpful, so there are figures on how many tires are made annually, but this can be a little misleading, because tires wear out, right?
Yeah.
If you take a tire off a wheel, you don't have two wheels now because the tire's not like on an axle and not transferring force, right? So,
So you're saying a tire is not a wheel on its own.
Right.
It needs to be a wheel.
Yeah. Connected.
Interesting.
To an axle, something like that, right? To actually rotate. So they wear out. You got to replace them. It's not necessarily a great estimate. But with that in mind, who do you think the biggest tire manufacturer in the world is? Just on number of tires made.
I mean, I'm just going to say Michelin. They have a whole guide about food of how to get. You take the tires and then you can go buy food with them. You know, I feel like they probably have a lot of tires if they're like, we make so many tires, we need a place for them to go on the tires.
I mean,
why don't we just tell them to go here?
That is how the Michelin star thing started, right? I feel like people don't put that together. But yeah, the whole fanciest restaurant in the world all vying for the approval of a tire company.
Yeah, you got to have somewhere to drive. So.
Right. It was a guide, you know, hey, if you're using your cool Michelin, they're French, right? If you're on a Michelin tires, you should check out this amazing restaurant.
Have you driven on our tires? Come and eat our food as well. But don't, because we don't want you.
It's very French.
Just think about eating it and think about how great we are.
You will never achieve this level of fame or love.
Wow, when did we just become tearing down the Frenchmen? It's very funny. Okay, so is it Michelin or is it Bridgestone?
They can live in the satisfaction of being French and therefore better than us here in America. Anyway.
Goodyear. I don't know who it is.
No, it's not any of the tire companies that you might think about.
Oh.
Tires are an ancillary part of what they make.
Oh. I mean, then, I don't know, a bicycle company, like, or something? Do they make their own tires? Or who makes, well, I don't, you know what? I'm just like, my mind is going everywhere, from shopping carts and wheelbarrows
You have already said the name of this company during this recording.
I have?
Yes.
I don't know what words I've said. I've said so many words.
It's Lego.
You're pointing at your Lego shelf.
Yes.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense. They make so many little teeny itty bitty tires.
Exactly. Lego, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, makes
very accurate records.
Listen, it's good. It's going to be good enough for this Fermi estimation, okay? Lego, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, in 2010, they made 381 million tires.
Wow. That's a tire for every man, woman, and child in America.
Per year.
And then some.
And so now they're more around 300 million, by the way. But Lego tires, unlike car tires, vehicle tires, right? You're not really worried about them running out and you replacing them. So I think it's fair to say that for every Lego tire, there is a Lego wheel. In fact, there's probably more Lego wheels. I have some sets on my shelf behind me.
Yep.
Yes, gears, definitely. But even before that, I have the Perseverance rover behind me. It has 6 plastic wheels on it. There's no rubber tires on them, right? Sets like that. And then as you mentioned, gears, sure. So just on rubber tires alone, we can say that Lego makes over 300 million wheels each year. By the way, fun news that just came out the other day. I like the Lego group. They do good stuff. They're announcing that they're going to start making their tires using 1/3 recycled materials from like old fishing nets and ropes and engine oil.
Good job. Good job, Lego group.
Yay. So
you still can produce a lot of plastic. I love you, but you produce a lot of plastic.
Shh. Let me assuage my guilt. Assuage?
Yeah.
Assuage? Assuage?
Assuage.
We need a French person to come tell me how to say
it. My name is Aaron Rancine. Etienne Rancine, my cousin Aaron.
If he was French, he'd be part of the Old England aristocracy. Anyway, so I think that's a good indication of how many wheels Lego makes. But then, if we're talking about wheels, Lego alone, just wheels on vehicles.
Yeah.
Lego isn't probably the biggest manufacturer of that. For example, there's this company called Hot Wheels.
Oh, right. Yes. Whoa. Okay.
I think it's fair to say that they make wheels.
Yes. Several.
You know how many cars Hot Wheels makes a year?
120 No, that seems low. 500 million.
You nailed it. It's
Really?
500 million cars a year.
I win the showcase and your showcase. Sorry, that's a Price is Right thing.
That is Price is Right. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, if there are, I think we can safely assume 4 wheels per Hot Wheel. Of course, they're going to make weird, goofy ones, sure. But 4 wheels per Hot Wheel, that puts them at 2 billion wheels per year from Hot Wheels.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Another fun trivia fact for y'all to bust out. Who's the biggest toy distributor in the world?
Mattel?
No.
Distributor?
Yeah.
Amazon?
No.
Toys R Us?
No.
Walmart?
No.
I don't know.
Again, toys is not their primary product. When you think of this company, you don't think toys.
I just look like
You
an
might
idiot
think fries.
now. Oh my God. McDonald's?
McDonald's is the world's largest toy distributor. They distribute
What?
1.5 billion toys a year.
What? That's too many toys.
Now, when was the last time you got a Happy Meal?
I mean, I have a kid, so last week, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
And it had a toy?
Yes.
You get them fairly frequently. I also get them fairly frequently because my wife loves the toys.
That's funny.
She is a whimsical goddess.
She is very whimsical. I love her.
But I can tell you that they don't always have wheels. Sometimes they're plushies. Sometimes they're, coloring materials. But frequently, they are like a little plastic bobblehead or something, some tie-in to some movie or product. Yeah. And it's
Sonic
got
3 right now, I think.
Yeah. And that guy definitely has a couple little wheels on the bottom of his little...
It's literally a roller. It's just,
Yep.
It's literally a roller. You put Sonic and you roll it down along or whatever.
Yep. So I think it's reasonable to say about a quarter of McDonald's toys have wheels.
Oh my God, Julian.
But then they have
wheels.
2 wheels each.
There's
right?
so many wheels, Julian.
There's so many wheels. And we haven't gotten to vehicles, which we talked about. Cars with the
bicycles,
gears.
yeah.
Bicycles, which of course are not adding to the doors. Scooters far surpass cars in those places. There's 240 million of them in Asia.
Yeah.
And that's not counting bikes. That's scooters. There's a lot of wheels. And then around my house, right? We talked about rolling doors. Those are going to have wheels.
Yeah.
My drawers in my nightstand.
Your underwear? Your underwear have wheels on them?
That pull out. Not my underwear. Stop it. No. Somebody patent that. There's got to be a market for it. Right, the drawers that I have from my IKEA furniture, each drawer has 4 wheels on the sliders to let it roll out smoothly.
Guys, if you did make underwear with wheels, you'd have to call them wheelies. I'm just giving this to you. I'm giving it to you now. So go out and patent it. Not sure what it would be good for. But I'm just giving it to you.
You know how Heelys were a hot thing for a minute there? Yeah. What if instead of rolling around on your feet, you just sat and then slide around?
Sounds totally practical.
I would do it.
I got some wheelies. Anyway,
you'd be the coolest kid in your elementary school. Okay.
Okay, the drawers, the closet doors.
My refrigerator, we talked, it has doors, but it's also got 2 little wheels on the back to make it ostensibly easier to move around. It is not, but you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you add all that up, I get that there are more wheels in the world. Now, I took estimates on, how long Lego's been making 300 million tires a year, how long Hot Wheels has been in production. But still, I would estimate that there are about 500 billion wheels.
Wow.
Does that seem reasonable to you?
I mean, I feel like it seems low now having this conversation, the sheer number of wheels.
Right.
oh my God.
I think it really comes from the very expansive definition of a wheel that wheel allows us to have, right? That just like taking a force and changing its magnitude or direction brings in so many things like gears, allows for things like your tires. Even my printer that we talked about, it's got the one door. It's got a bunch of little wheels inside of it to move the paper around. And one more thing. If we're talking about changing magnitude and direction, just to visually demonstrate one more time.
Oh, yeah. There's a door handle on your door.
Yep. If it's a door knob, I think it's fair to call that a wheel. I don't think a door handle necessarily.
Yeah. I mean,
that might be just a lever.
It's more of a lever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a door knob?
Yeah. Yeah. But then if you have a lock and you turn the lock.
Ooh.
Is that a wheel?
The wheel within a wheel?
A deadbolt?
A lot of doors are giving some ground back to wheels inadvertently anyway. So yeah, put it all together, and with some crazy back-of-the-envelope math, I think you have about 500 billion wheels in the world. Is this going to satisfy team doors? Probably not. I'm sure they'll come up with something to tell us that we missed. Then that's fine, because this was fun. I hope that the people who responded to this and got into it didn't lose sight that Ryan Nixon was just bringing up an argument he and his rugby mates had about which they have more of, and basically the entire internet got to participate in it, and that sounds fun. I hope it brought us all a little closer together.
A lovely shared cultural moment. I love that. Look, I don't believe in afterlives, really. But if there is one, I hope we can just data mine the life part. And like, there's just an answer. Imagine, like the Matrix or whatever. Creation is all quantified somewhere on like a giant database. And there's just somebody being like, oh yeah, there's way more doors. Here's what the definition we use for door.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Oh, you thought wheels?
Silly.
Well, you didn't know that I made a door dimension.
Yeah. I also think that it would be nice to know everywhere I've ever lost my keys and what happened to them. Just for anyone who makes afterlives listening. That's what I want. I want to be able to find out what happened to every set of keys and everything I've ever lost that I still lament over. And also then what happened to it? Can I just stand by that set of keys? Who picked it up? Let's follow them around. Data mining. Let's just do it for all of everything. I could spend eternity doing that. That sounds fun.
Great. That's your idea of paradise. It's also my idea of hell. Okay.
Perfect. Let's take a break. Julian, give me your best dinosaur roar.
Oh, God, an asteroid! It's horrible!
Wow, that was not where I expected that to go. We're popping in before the show to tell you about I Know Dino. It's a dinosaur podcast.
We think of those dinosaurs being this thing that's been dead for tens of millions of years. Even so, studying dinosaurs can still teach us stuff that is relevant to the world today.
Yeah, like climate models to help us understand global warming.
Migration patterns of dinosaur lineages, they tell us about Earth's changing continents.
We can also study dinosaur diets, what plants lived then, and maybe what animals and how they interact.
And, this is super cool, many dinosaur injuries, paleopathologies, they're the first known occurrences of diseases.
And they talk about all this kind of stuff on I Know Dino. It comes out every week with new dinosaur stories that you're not going to hear anywhere else. Like, I hadn't heard of a lot of these, which is pretty cool.
You can find I Know Dino on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever podcasts are. And if you found us, you can probably find them. Go check them out. Welcome back to That's Absurd. Please elaborate. We hope you're having a wheelie good time. I'm Julian.
Oh.
That's
Front
Trace.
door.
Trace.
Yeah, hi.
What's your question?
Trace.
What is your question this week?
Hello, it's your friend Trace. So my question this week comes from Anna from Athens, Greece, who asks, too much sun? Headache. Too cold? Headache. Too much sugar? Headache. No food? Headache. No water? Headache. Period? Headache. No access to a toilet to poop? Headache. Too much stress? Headache. Too little sleep? Headache. Too much sleep? Headache. Too much alcohol? Headache. Why? Why? Headaches. Why?
Trace, I love that you're shouting into the mic when we have somebody who clearly has an issue with a lot of headaches. Please stop. Please stop making so much noise for Anna's sake.
Anna, I loved the presentation, the poem that you wrote here.
It was
just so excellent. And so I had to pick it. I just had to.
Great. So, didn't Anna ask another question recently?
Anna did ask another question recently and did send us a voice note that we neglected to put into the episode. I'm so sorry, Anna.
Sorry, Anna.
But Anna also asked the question about the journey that plants had taken and like all the things that we did for plants and animals to take them on these incredible journeys, which was a really cool question.
Anna's on a roll. She's just sitting there dealing with her multitudinous headaches, and she's just trying to get her mind off of it, thinking about plants, the journeys of plants.
Yeah. And I feel Anna on this. I had a headache yesterday. It's terrible. Nobody wants a headache. But Julian, what's a headache? Yeah. Is this the definitionless episode? It's just like, is that the problem?
It's just when your thick meats hurt. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're just like your
head aches.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Your head. I think I might be overthinking it, and it's giving me a headache. It seems so straightforward. My head, it aches. It's a headache.
Right. And it's right there in the name, right? But what is it?
Like what makes headache?
Yeah. What headache make?
I think I've heard the answer to this, but I'm worried I might steal your thunder if I say it.
Nope, you're not going to steal it.
Oh, it's code for, no, you're wrong, but go ahead and try.
No, go for it. Maybe you know. That's fine.
Okay, I have heard that your brain itself does not have any nerve endings that can feel pain.
Correct. The brain does not feel pain at all. Zero pain from the brain. So, when you're insane in the membrane, insane in the brain, at least it's not painful.
Got no pain.
Right.
So, what actually hurts is like the area around your skull, like the tissue lining, and things that can cause that are like if you're dehydrated and your brain volume shrinks and it tugs on these receptors and triggers them, and then it makes it hurt. That's what I've heard. I have not explored it any more deeply than that.
Yeah. Nerves and blood vessels and things in your head that are not your brain that are either swollen or constricted or something is going on to trigger those pain receptors. A paper in the Journal of Headache and Pain from 2020 says that the fifth cranial nerve is the common denominator for many headaches and facial pain pathologies currently known. However, you've heard of the DSM-5, right? The Diagnostics and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. Version 5. As a psychology person with a background in behavioral psych, of course I knew what the DSM-4 was when I was in school, and the 5 came out not that long ago.
Yeah. I don't like the rules that they made to rolling for initiative, though, the changes in the DSM.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. I mean, look, a D20, not everybody just has one of those laying around.
I don't know the difference between the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition manual. I think that's pretty clear to anybody who plays D&D who just heard me say that.
Also, they would just call that D&D 5e. No big deal. So, headaches are, in fact, the most common form of reported pain by people. There are more than 150 different types of headaches, said like a bunch of different websites. However, the reason I bring up the DSM-5 is there's actually one for headaches. Like the DSM, if you're not familiar, essentially is what psychologists use to determine what known and coded, so to speak, mental disorders are. So like ADHD is in the DSM-5, and to be able to code for it to bill your insurance and be able to say like, oh, you definitely have it, you have to hit a certain number of criteria within that. So you would have, I don't know off the top of my head, but you would have like ADHD might be, like mental disorder number 57, and it's type number 2, and so on and so forth. But they have one of these for headaches. It's called the International Classification of Headache Disorders, and they're on the 3rd edition, the ICHD-3. It was published in 2013, and it lists almost 300 different types of coded headaches and facial pains. So interesting.
That's a lot of different ways that your head can hurt.
Yes, 300 different ways to categorize head achy. My thinky meat hurt. Ouch. Headaches can be one-sided, where it's just one side of your head hurts and not the other. They can be bilateral, which means both sides. They can be banded, where they go like around your head, like in the kind of the middle. They can be throbbing. They can be non-throbbing. They can be behind the eyes. They can be in the back of the head. There's not a lot of information as to every specifics of every type of headache, but they definitely say blood vessel constriction and dilation, again, commonly through the fifth cranial nerve. When was your last headache?
Yesterday.
And what did it feel like?
A dull throbbing around my temples.
Oh, interesting. Let's see if we can find your headache in the ICHD-3. What do you think? So there was a throbbing, and you said around your temple? Mm-hmm. Okay. Temple. So we got throbbing, temple, and then headache. I'm literally just going to Google it. And then I'm going to write, in the Google search, I'm going to write ICHD-3. We'll see what it says. Potentially headache number 2.2, a frequent episodic tension type headache with precranial tenderness or not associated with precranial tenderness. Could you tell me?
If I have precranial tenderness?
Yeah, maybe that's too personal. This lasted, say, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, I did take some ibuprofen for it.
Okay, got it. So this is the 2.2 tension type headache, TTH, is one of the different types of primary headaches. There are 4 primary headaches and several secondary headaches. So the TTH is the number 2 type primary headache, and the diagnostic criteria is 10 episodes of headache occurring in 1 to 14 days a month on average for less than 3 months, lasting 30 minutes to 7 days, and at least 2 of the following characteristics are met. It's bilateral, so it's both sides of your head. Pressing or tightening with non-pulsating quality, mild or moderate intensity, and it's not aggravated by a routine physical activity like walking or climbing stairs. And it must have both of the following: no nausea or vomiting, and no photophobia or phonophobia.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at work at the time. I was still able to function, like do my job, walk around, talk to people, hear things. This, to me, this is like, forget your horoscope. Tell me what kind of headaches you get.
Once I found this, I was like, oh, I just had this headache. This is pretty cool. Yeah.
I have to know, you're a type 7.2 headache person. We're not compatible.
Right, yeah. That's funny. The most recently I had a headache was just a stress headache, similar attention type headache. But a lot of people, I would say, a very common headache you get, like, say, in your 20s or teens, if you live out of the United States or drink illegally, is the drinking headache. A hangover headache, which is headache number 8, and then 0.14, alcohol-induced headache. And headache number 8 is a headache attributed to a substance or its withdrawal. There are several, looks like off the top of my head, probably 20 or more of these headaches. Yeah, no pun intended. So this is called an immediate alcohol-induced headache or a delayed alcohol-induced headache. So a hangover would be 8.1.4.2. A headache caused after a delay of hours by ingestion of alcohol and resolves spontaneously within 72 hours. Alcohol has to have been ingested, and you have to have had the headache develop within 5 to 12 hours after ingestion, resolved within 72. It's bilateral, it's pulsating, it's aggravated by physical activity. And it has to have one of those 3 characteristics. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't get hangovers, but for people that do, they tell me that that's what it feels like. My superpower is that doesn't happen to me, which is
they suck.
Awesome. Yeah. I did a T-News video about hangovers once, and I was just like, all of this is academic. I can only
I have no personal experience. I'm basically better than you. I'm French.
That's funny. I would like another glass of wine, please.
Another wine.
So there are, again, primary headaches and secondary headaches. So primary headaches are the thing that is the cause. And then secondary headaches are caused by the thing. So like a tension headache is a primary headache because the tension causes the headache. A hangover headache is a secondary one because you drank alcohol and that caused, something like dehydration or something that caused a headache. So it's a secondary. The headache is just a symptom of something else. So let's talk about the 4 primaries. There's tension, migraine, cluster, and then new daily persistent or NDPH. The tension type is the most common type. It can be all over, a band around the head, not usually throbbing. And what causes it is typically muscle tension. in the head and neck. And that muscle tension can cause your head to hurt. Another primary one is migraine, very common. 12% of the people in the U.S. get migraines. It's a severe, debilitating headache. And the cause is unknown. We don't know why people get migraines. We do know that it's likely related to genetics and sensory processing. The Cleveland Clinic says up to 80% of people with migraines have a first-degree biological relative with that condition. Have you ever had a migraine? I've never had a migraine.
Yeah, and they suck a lot.
Yeah, I've heard they're really awful. My grandma used to get migraines, and she would eat burned toast. She said that helped her, get over her migraine. Yeah, I don't know. It's more common in women than men. They can happen every week or even just once a year, but they would still count as a migraine. And there are all these different symptoms, of course, like seeing auras or feeling this headache for a long period or having a prodrome up to 24 hours before where you get trouble sleeping and difficulty concentrating and so on and so forth. Migraines are wild. It's a lot. They think that it might happen due to waves of activity by groups of brain cells, according to Johns Hopkins. Brain cells could trigger chemicals like serotonin to narrow our blood vessels, but we still don't know, which is wild because it happens to so many people. And I have a lot more on migraines, but I feel like we kind of get it. Also, interestingly, migraines can be triggered by things that you eat, like aged cheese has specific chemicals in it for preservation that can potentially trigger migraines. And before the wellness people jump in, all food is chemicals. Just because I say preservative doesn't mean that we sprayed it with some conspiracy chemical. It could just be natural in the cheese, okay, wellness weirdos? Doesn't matter. Alcohol is a natural fermentation chemical, okay? Anyway, there's also the type of primary headache, cluster headaches, which is under the IDHC, a different terminology is used, the trigeminal autonomic cephalalgias, TACs.
Yeah.
I probably nailed it. It's a cluster headache. They're pretty rare. They cause severe one-sided pain, usually near one of your eyes, which is interesting. Again, very rare. These can happen every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, and they can last 15 minutes to 3 hours. Sounds really awful. And then they just resolve on their own, and we don't know why they happen. It could be alcohol, exercise, bright light, altitude changes. Really interesting. There's, of course, then also the NDPH, the new daily persistent headache, super duper rare. And it's a headache that won't stop, doesn't get better with common treatments, can last years and never go away. Treatment options are available, but not always successful. This sounds like a very scary headache. So those are the primary ones. Then there's the secondary ones. You have a condition that can cause those nerves to trigger and your blood cells either constrict or dilate, and they can cause head pain. And this could be trauma to the head or neck, cranial or cervical vascular disorder, non-vascular intracranial problems, substance or withdrawal disorders, infections, disorders of homeostasis, which is my favorite. It's just something's not right. There's psychiatric disorder-related headaches, or my favorite, which is headache number 11. Headache or facial pain attributed to disorder of the cranium, neck, eyes, ears, nose, sinuses, teeth, mouth, or other facial or cervical structure, which is great.
Just your whole head hurts?
Just hey, you got a headache.
It's in a literal sense. It's just your entire head is in pain.
Your head hurts. It's a headache number 11.
You're being a real number 11 headache today.
Yeah, exactly. The classic example of a secondary headache, other than the hangover, any guesses? What most people would be oh, yeah, I get this headache where I'm eating something and then I get a headache from it.
It's specifically food related? Because I thought it was going to be
food related.
Concussions after
playing
ice hockey or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens a lot as well. I was thinking of, you're eating ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
And you get an ice cream headache.
I've heard it described that way.
Also known as the
brain
freeze. I don't get those either, but I've heard they suck.
Why? What's it like to just be God's favorite?
I don't know. It feels the same, I guess. I've just been this way my whole life, Julian. I just take advantage of it.
I would only be drinking and eating ice cream. I would be the single most unhealthy person you'd ever seen.
I can also bite ice cream with my teeth. I don't have cold tooth problem. So I'm eating ice cream and it's hard. I just bite it like it's any other food. And my mom is ah!
Yeah, that's just weird.
What are you doing? Anyway. So Harvard Health says a brain freeze is caused, and this is great because it's just so clinical. The temperature of the roof of the mouth and back of the throat drops drastically from the shot of cold, causing a chain reaction where blood vessels in the roof of the mouth rapidly narrow, triggering brain arteries to dilate. The exact mechanism is unclear. Perhaps artery wall expansions activate the trigeminal nerve, causing face and head pain. But then they're like, if you want to cure it, push your tongue against the roof of your mouth to warm it back up.
Warm that baby up.
That's right. So anyway.
What if I just rub my stick my fingers on my palate? Just
yeah. Why not? Just do it.
Warm that baby up.
Try it out.
Next time you're at an ice cream social.
When you're at the soda jerk and you're eating some ice cream, your brain freezes. And your brain freezes. Just stick your fingers in your throat and don't do it. Don't do that. Yeah, just take a puff on the your Virginia Slim. No, don't do that. Anyone.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend cigarettes to cure brain freeze.
Honestly, I'm sure
too many ice cream headaches, little Timmy. Try Winston-Salem.
Oh Jesus. Too real. Too probably real.
What can't cigarettes do?
Not kill you. Sinus headaches, which people often experience, are really just tension headaches under the ICHD. Just fun fact. So yeah, to go back to Anna's question, right? According to the ICHD, you can get headaches from eating food or not eating food. You can get headaches from sleeping or not sleeping. You can get headaches from bad posture, physical activity, literally exercise, from coughing, sneezing, blowing noses, straining, laughing, crying, caffeine intake or no caffeine intake after caffeine intake, so caffeine withdrawal, dehydration, carbon monoxide, stress levels, even estrogen withdrawal. Both men and women have estrogen in our bodies, but it's more common in females or people who have been on estrogen replacements, which is really interesting. So you can get an estrogen withdrawal headache. There are hundreds of different ways to get a headache. So let's answer each one of Anna's one at a time. Too much sun. Any ideas what this might be?
It's not a problem I have, so no.
Yeah. Tension type headache, similar to stress. There was a study on women in the Arctic who tended to get more migraine headaches during the summer, but the effect was really small. More research is needed. Very interesting, though. But it's a tension type headache. Too cold. Headache attributed to a cold stimulus, headache number 4.5.1. This headache is due to external cooling of the head, it says, such as occurring during exposure of very cold weather. When diving in cold water, I have experienced that. Or when receiving cryotherapy. Some patients develop intense, short-lasting stabbing headaches mid-frontally, although the pain can be unilateral and temporal, frontal, or retroorbital. Super cool. Too much sugar. Never experienced this one. I could eat sugar all day. There's no specific lots of sugar headache, Anna, so maybe this one's just for you, just you. I don't know. But it could be from the crash, like a hypoglycemic headache, which is listed in the ICHD-3 under hypnic headache, because your sugar drops while you sleep. Also, it's listed under fasting. Makes sense. A no-food headache, also under fasting. That's headache number 10.5. A headache attributed to fasting. A diffuse, non-pulsating headache, usually mild to moderate, occurring during and caused by fasting for at least 8 hours. In case you wonder how to cure a fasting headache, it is relieved after eating. A dehydration headache, it doesn't actually exist in the ICHD-3, which I was really surprised by, but they think it's under Section 10, disorders of homeostasis. A period headache, again, estrogen withdrawal, 8.3.3 headache, but it could be any number of headaches because, your body goes through a lot during menstruation. You could have a headache or migraine developing within 5 days after daily consumption of exogenous estrogen for 3 weeks longer than has been interrupted. So that would be taking birth control pills, which have estrogen in them. So a combination estrogen, progesterone birth control pill, then you have a withdrawal because you are taking no birth control for a week could get a headache. Interesting, right? People who take other estrogen pills can also get this, and it resolves spontaneously within 3 days. Holding in your poop, Anna had on her list. Not sure what the ICHD-3 has on this, but a paper in Korean Journal of Pediatrics wrote that constipation is related to stress, dehydration, and fluid intake, and decreases in appetite, so that can cause a headache. There is a gastrointestinal headache that's also in children in the ICHD-3, but I didn't think that fit with holding in your poop. Stress, TTH, the tension type headache, squeezing, squinting, working the muscles, just, relax. Sleep, there are two different ones. There's the sleep apnea headache. That sounds more serious. That's 10.1.4. There's the hypnic headache, which I already mentioned, 4.9. The hypnic headache was interesting. It's usually bilateral, usually in patients over 50. It develops during sleep, causing waking that lasts at least 15 minutes, and it's treated with indomethacin, melatonin, caffeine, or lithium. Lithium. It's wild.
Yeah, lithium. I've heard of lithium used for medicinal purposes. Yeah.
Definitely. It's just it's wild. Okay, and then there's the alcohol headache that she listed last. We already mentioned it. Alcohol-induced headache, 8141. And there's the immediate one and the delayed one. The drinking alcohol one, getting a hangover, is 8142. The immediate alcohol-induced headache is developing within 3 hours after alcohol consumption. It's very rare. If you have that, go get checked out. Really interesting.
Interesting. Because I just assumed that I was getting to that point, that as I age and drink less, that now when I drink like a beer, sometimes within an hour, I have a headache. And I'm like, is the hangover just getting started early?
Yeah,
you might have overachieving hangover.
Wow, you might have ICHD-3's immediate alcohol-induced headache.
Oh, I knew I was special.
You're so special, dude.
I'm so special.
Oh my gosh. Both, by the way, typically bilateral, pulsating, and aggravated by physical activity, may be accompanied by nausea, photophobia, and phonophobia, which is why you don't want to listen to things when your head hurts and you have a hangover. So why do we get all these headaches? Unfortunately for Anna, the why part, every one of them is totally different. And the ones we do understand, like alcohol-induced, you can avoid by not having alcohol per se. But we can talk about it, you and me, Julian. But I think evolutionary pressure would mean that there must be some reason why we experience headaches. However, if it doesn't get in the way of passing on genes, then there is no evolutionary pressure, right? Headaches don't typically stop people from reproducing. I mean, there is a meme, of course. Oh, I have a headache. I can't. But,
right.
In terms of wild animals and living in the brush and the trees, it wasn't like we had a headache and now we died and we can't pass on our genetics.
Well, to me, it just sounds like an extension of why pain exists in the first place.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A lot of people think, if you don't think about it too deeply, wouldn't it be great if I couldn't feel pain? And the answer to that is no.
No. Definitely no.
There are people who are born with rare conditions where they cannot feel pain and they do not live very long typically.
It's bad for them.
Yeah.
It's very bad.
They tend to get injured and then keep on trucking without realizing it and then hurt themselves worse. Or I remember one
secondary infections.
Yeah. His face was disfigured because when he was young, he would pick at it a lot and he would just scar it and infect it and he didn't realize he was doing it. So these are useful mechanisms. I think if your brain is hurting, that's a signal that things are not well, that maybe you should sleep or eat. Or stop drinking the fermented fruit juice, maybe it's fun for a little bit, but then the next day you're all dehydrated,
Yeah, don't always eat the fermented fruit that's been on the ground, primate friend.
Yeah.
The drunk monkey hypothesis, which is, I just love it. I agree. I think the real reason we probably have headaches, to answer Anna's question, is it's a messaging tool. It's our body telling us something's up, and why we get some headaches like migraines that are debilitating and cause all sorts of problems. That could just be part of genetic miswiring that just happens with people mixing with each other. And again, it hasn't stopped us from breeding with each other, so it just keeps happening. Just is there. It just is. It just exists. Not everything always has this one because we used to eat eucalyptus and that it's like there's not always a reason for it, interestingly.
So, yeah, I think that, like you said, there's a lot of different mechanisms that can trigger it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, these things get triggered maybe through no actual fault of your own. Maybe nothing's wrong and you just get them because it's a complex system and there's going to be gremlins in it sometimes. But a lot of the time, it's useful. It's a thing that actually, they are no fun to have, but it's good that they exist.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. So anyway, Anna in Athens. Let me just go through it one more time. Kyle, cue the poetry music. Too much sun, headache. Too cold,
Headache.
too much sugar,
Headache.
no food,
Headache.
no water.
Headache.
Period.
Oh, I thought that was the end of the sentence. Headache.
No access to toilet to poop.
Headache.
Too much stress.
Headache.
Too little sleep.
Headache.
Too much sleep.
Headache.
Too much alcohol.
Headache.
Why?
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 Headaches.
Headaches.
That's good. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Anybody here who's a fan of slam poetry now has a headache.
Yeah. And if you weren't a fan of slam poetry before, you continued to not be. You're welcome.
We have converted no one. I've gone to slam poetry sessions. They're awesome.
They're so fun. I think they're great. I love how parodied they are because they're so easy to parody.
They're actually really
But
cool.
they're so fun. Definitely go if you get the chance. They are fun. It will feel, for the first 2 minutes, you'll feel like this. But then the 5th to 8th minute, you're going to be like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, you're just like, this is great. Until the end, and then you're just on like a natural high for the rest of the day. Thanks for listening to this episode of That's Absurd, Please Elaborate. The show was created and written and produced by me, Trace Dominguez.
And me, Julian Huguet.
It was also edited, produced, and tweaked for the better by the wonderful and wonderfully talented poet, Kyle Sisk.
Special thanks to listeners who submitted questions featured in this episode, Liam and Anna. If you want to submit questions, you can look for the form in our show notes. You can email us at hello@that'sabsurdshow.com. You can visit our website, that'sabsurdshow.com/ask. You can call us 302-TAPE-SHOW. That's 302-TAPESHO.
If you've got a cool slam poet thing that's less than 30 seconds, call us. We'll play it on the show. Special thanks to any new Patreon subscribers we've had. We haven't had any since we last recorded. We just recorded the other day. But shout out to our absurd administrators either way. Les, Adam, and Austin, thank you so much for being absurd administrators. If you want to join our Patreon, just go ahead and go to patreon.com/that'sabsurdshow. You can also find it in our show notes, or you can go to our website, that'sabsurdshow.com, and click on Patreon. Whew, there's so many different ways you can support us. But if you don't have maybe monetary support that you can do right now, that's fine. Leave us a review. Tell your friends about the show. Think of that one person who you're like, this person likes to learn things and sometimes likes to laugh at dumb people like me and Julian. Why don't you listen to this podcast right here and send it to them so that they can listen to us too? Because honestly, the best way to grow the show, aside from appearing on other shows, is you all, is the people who like the show already. And if you don't like the show, I'm not talking to you. I'm sorry.
Probably not listening through the credits. But yeah, go ahead, leave us a review. Maybe you're a big fan of Trace and how Trace doesn't get hangovers and how Trace can eat as much ice cream as he wants.
Or
and
maybe you think Julian's great as well. He just seems great.
Listen, if this becomes a running joke, I'm fine with it. If more people leave reviews just to fawn on Trace and then be like, and Julian's also there, I'll take it. I will take it.
Yeah, it would hurt my feelings, but Julian handles it really well. And then finally, of course, if you're listening on Nebula, extra special thanks to you. You're the best. Thank you so much. Nebula listeners get access to ad-free versions of our episodes, but they also just support the show by listening. When they listen to the show, they give us support from Nebula. Nebula gives us just a little bit to say like, hey, somebody listened to your show on Nebula. So if you want to listen to the show there, all you have to do is go to nebula.tv/that'sabsurdshow, and you will support us and anybody else that you listen to or watch over there on Nebula. We've got originals, we've got YouTubers that you probably already know and love, like Real Engineering or Legal Eagle, and YouTubers that you love but aren't on YouTube anymore, like Lindsay Ellis, who is exclusively on Nebula. And yeah, you can listen to or watch her stuff there too. So anyway, Nebula, it's great. Go listen to it. Go watch it. But as we say at the end of every episode, Julian,
headaches really hurt.
I got nothing. That's so bad. I'm gonna ride that wave for the rest of the week. Headaches Wheelie hurt. That's the title of the episode now.
It is.
It's gotta be.
It's so
Headaches Wheelie hurt. Thanks for listening, everyone. We will see you next week with a new episode.